Well, hello, friends, and welcome back to Set Your Mind on Things Above. Well, today I want to talk to you about something that's actually near and dear to me, something we can all relate to in some way or another. I want to talk about idolatry. But more importantly, at the end, I want to talk about how to crush the idols in our lives. See, when we hear the word idolatry, most of us think of statues or false gods or something ancient or obvious. But Scripture speaks of idolatry in a much deeper way. You see, idolatry isn't just what we worship with our hands, it's what we look to with our hearts for peace, security, or joy. As Proverbs tells us, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. You see, an idol is anything or anyone we turn to other than Jesus to give us what only He can give. Sometimes it's success, sometimes it's approval, sometimes it's control, comfort, or even good things like ministry or family. And the tricky thing about idols is that they often start as good things. But when a good thing becomes an ultimate thing, it begins to shape how we think, how we feel, and how we interpret life. That's why this matters so much when we talk about renewing the mind on this channel. Because scripture says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So what we worship, it quietly shapes our thoughts. You see, if our joy depends on circumstances, our minds will always be chasing stability. And if our peace depends on control, our thoughts will live in anxiety. And if our worth depends on performance, our mind will never truly rest. And as Jesus tells it plainly, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. You see, renewal doesn't just happen simply by removing idols, it happens by replacing them. Because Scripture doesn't just call us to turn away from false loves, it calls us to return to our first love. And as Paul writes, set your mind on things above, not on earthly things. You see, Jesus does not compete with idols, he outshines them. And when our hearts are recentered on Christ, joy begins to shift from something we chase into something we receive. Not because life becomes easy, but because our source changes. And as David reminds us in the Psalm 16:11, in your presence there is fullness of joy. You see, this journey of uncovering misplaced loves and rediscovering joy in Jesus is actually something I've explored more deeply in my book called The Joy of Jesus, Crushing All Other Idols. If this resonates with you and you'd like to continue reflecting on how joy is restored when Christ becomes central again, well, then that book is available to you, and I'll leave it in the link below. And as I spoke about a Renew My Mind program, please know it's something I'm continuing to build and pray through. And God willing, it will be fully released in the coming months as a more comprehensive journey in renewing our thoughts and lives through Scripture. But for now, let this be the invitation. Notice what you are leaning on for your joy. And as Paul reminds us in Romans 12:2, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Because renewal of the mind is ultimately a reordering of the heart. And when Jesus is restored to his rightful place, peace and joy begin to follow. God bless you. Thank you for watching, and let us set our mind on things above together.